Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Untold story of Sita and Sita's Swadhyay series. So, yes, last week we stopped at chapter 20, midway, and the topic was the education of love and push. So, Sita Mata also, just like our Patri sir, she believed in Swadhyay. She wanted to teach her kids the lessons of life through the stories of the great saints, the great rishis that were at that time. So we heard one story last week that she was telling to her kids. And so today we will hear the story about Rishi Arundhati and Rishi Vashishta. So then Sita Mata tells Love and Kush, do you remember them both? You met the couple when you were very little. So they were very wise rishis. So this chapter is basically the revision of all the saints and wives of these saints, the rishi women rishis. So it's like a summary of all these that we learned about them in this book. So she says Rishi Vashisht had brought forth the mantra that could repel any weapons. And Rishi Arundhati, the woman or sage Arundhati, the wife, had the power of bounty. She was able to feed any number of people in few seconds. And so one time, their king, one day Maharaja, a king whose name was Raja Kaushik, came to their place unannounced. So Mata Arundhati fed all the king's army. And so she was very kind and gentle-hearted woman. So the king asked her, Mata, how did you fed us all with so much food? And without any notice, you fed my whole army. So when Raja Kaushik, the king Kaushik, found out that she had a cow named Kamdhenu, the king wanted the Kamdhenu for himself. So Mata Arundhati said, no, that cow is like my child. I cannot give you the cow. Even Rishi Vashisht requested Raja Kaushik that, please don't take our cow. But the king was a king, he had his ego in him. So he decided to attack the Rishi Vashisht. And Rishi Vashisht was a great saint and he knew how to repel the weapons. So the king Kaushik, he was so upset and he found out that he cannot win with Rishi Vashish. So he went down, he left them alone, he left the couple alone and he went for meditation. And he gained some powers through meditation. And once he came back, he cursed, he started to fight again with Rishi Vashish. And this time, while leaving, he also gave a curse that all your sons will die. And so Mata Arundhati and Rishi Vashish saw each one of their sons die very soon as per the curse. And so this was a very sad story. And he had become a very powerful saint. And so Mata paused at this point and she says to her kids, do you guys have any questions? So Kush says, yes, Mata, I want to know. So all their sons died. So Mata says, yes. They were very helpless. The couple was very helpless and they could not do anything to save their kids. But this curse could not touch the daughters of the Rishi Vashisht and Rishi Arundhati. And so these girls, these daughters of the couple, they realized how much pain their parents were going through. So they wanted to release the parents from this curse. And they asked the mother that, Mother, can we create a place where there's no place for the curse? So we want to create this whole society, whole world, a new place where we can all live in happy and peace. So Rishi Arundhati, she saw the faces of her daughters and knew her eyes, that in the eyes of the daughters, that they were ready. They were very. It was a very good idea, and so Rishi Arundhati helped too. So Rishi Arundhati's daughters were very wise and accomplished in meditation as well. And so with their help and with their meditation, they created an ideal world. Mata took the boys outside the hut, and she showed where the creation was done. The Arundhati Mata had created a nice, beautiful place, and then pointing to that star, she says, "Look, you see up above that sky? That's where that place was created by Rishi Arundhati and her daughters. And around that, next to it, is a world created by Rishi Vashish to protect that idle world that the mother and daughter had created. The star stands there guarding the world created by his wife and the daughters, and the worlds are also a symbol of their love. how the family stood by each other in these hard times. Those two stars always remain close to one another, reminding us how we need to guard and protect our families, and the support that we need to give our families. The creation of these worlds brought hope and light back into their life. Love and Kush asked Mata. So Mata, this is why we hold cows so dear to us because of Kamdhenu. That's why we pray the cows. And so Mata explained them, and she looked at the kids and how nicely questions they were asking Mata. So Mata looks at them and she says, yes, all the female animals, we should treat them as our daughters. And all the male animals, we should treat them as our sons. Kush says, so what happened to that wicked Maharaja? What happened to the wicked king who had cursed the sons? Mata says, you know him as Rishi Vishwamitra. After many, many years of his meditation, he became a great Rishi. And he was overcome by a tremendous grief as a result of what he had done because of his uncontrolled anger. Then after that, he went to and after when he sat into meditation for so many years, he created the Gayatri mantra. He found that mantra in the realms. And it was Rishi Vishwamitra who was able to hear this mantra from the celestial world. And we even chant that mantra today. And you guys do it in the ashram too when you are with the Guruji, right? So you know all this beautiful and powerful mantra. So one day Rishi Vashishta was in the meditation and he heard this Gayatri mantra being chanted. He bowed and he paid respect to whoever has found this Gayatri mantra. And when he found out it was Rishi Vishwamitra, who was a king Kaushik, who had cursed her sons to die, he still forgave him, even because he was so impressed with this Gayatri mantra. Gayatri mantra is supposed to be very powerful mantra. So Rishi Vashisht was very impressed with Rishi Vishwamitra that he forgave for what he had done to his kids, to his sons specifically. So, and then when Rishi Vishwamitra asked Rishi Vashisht for forgiveness, he gave him the forgiveness. But he also requested, excuse me, he requested Rishi Vishwamitra to seek forgiveness from his wife Rishi Arundhati, who was still mourning the death of her sons. And so Rishi approached her and she had forgiven her too. And so Mata says to the kids, what do you learn from this whole story? Love answered that even most terrible deeds can be forgiven and a good come out of it. And so the same sentence that Raja Janak had said to Mata Sita had also taught her kids the same thing. So behind every misfortune, there's always something to learn from. Like Raja Janak learned from that when that drought happened in Mithila, he had learned about how to do cultivation, how to do make ridges and furrows, how the river guided him to take the water to the fields, right? So in this situation, in this whole event, a chain of events, Gayatri Mantra was came out, right? And we even chant Gayatri Mantra even today. So Mata says this is the most important lesson. Our hearts must be large enough to forgive even the worst of the deeds. But not every deed is to be forgiven. But the doer of such deed must come to understand the wrong was done. Only then the forgiveness is possible. This is a very important thing. Don't let anybody just put pressure on you or hurt you no matter what. If they realize that they are making a mistake or they are regret about what their deeds are, that's only when you should forgive them. And Kush, what do you learn? Mata says. His response was, I was thinking, Mata, that Mata Arundhati had daughters, curious ones. So, and so the daughters could take care of the parents' grief. But Mata, what are you going to do if something has to happen to us? We don't have any sister and you don't have any daughter. What are you going to do in that case? So Mata says, you're right. I don't have any daughters, but I will have granddaughters. Each one of you will give me one and nothing will happen to you. I assure you that, Mata says. Then the kids go back to bed and Mata then goes to Soma and she says to Soma, I will not be here to see my granddaughters. I will not be here to see Love and Kush's wives. And I request you that, you will take care of all this. Make sure my granddaughters are raised in the way I was raised in Mithila. and I will see my granddaughters from your eyes. I will touch them through your hands. But Mata, why do you say this? You're still very young. So this was the first time Soma gets alarmed, like, why Mata is talking like this, She still has a long way to go. So Mata says, time will tell you what is going to happen. So kids are growing up now. And one day Mata says, now Mata is telling them another story about Rishi Gautam. So Mata Ahilya and Rishi Gautam, we all know the story, but this is a different version of the story that we are going to find out today, okay? So what we had heard about that Ahilya Mata was alone with Indradev, and so Rishi Gautam felt cheated because Indra was was in a disguise of Rishi Gautam, right? So this is the story. So this is what we have heard for so long, right? So Mata, yeah. So when Mata started the story, the kid said, "Yes, yes, we have heard about the story that how Rishi Ahilya was unfaithful to her husband, and that's why her husband gave the curse to the wife." Mata said, "I will tell you the story since I knew I knew them personally." And Mata had thought that the kids were very small, young to tell this very couple stories like the husband-wife relationship stories. But now, since the kids were grown up and they're also learning the same thing at school, and they're because the society is turning into the man society, the truth has been deleted from the books, right? So Mata wanted the kids to know the real story. So Mata starts saying this. Mata says, "I knew them personally when I was a child, and the son of Rishi Gautam and Rishi Ahilya was a family priest. I was very fond of him. But there was always some sadness on that child's face because of some. And anytime I would ask them, he said, 'Oh, nothing.' And then he would say, he would not give Mata any reasoning. So Mata went to Raja Janak, and Raja Janak was not also ready to tell, initially not able to tell the little girl anything. But when Mata kept on pestering his father, then Raja Janak said there was something happened in their family, that some misdeed must mishappen happened, and that's why the son of Rishi Gautam and Mata Ahilya is always sad. So, and then Mata was still not getting the right answer. So then she asked Raja Janak again. And so Raja Janak explained everything that we hear in today's Ramayana, right? That how Ahilya was unfaithful to her husband. And so the husband got upset and angry. And in the anger, he cursed his wife to become a stone. So Sita Mata was like, this does not sound right. Why would anybody, disguise? Why would Indra do that? Why would he disguise himself in a form of his own, as a Rishi Gautam and go, especially when Rishi Gautam is not in the house? So Mata goes to Swarglok. Swarglok is heaven, right? To talk to Indradev. So Kush at this point was very excited and he goes, "Mata, you really went all the way to Swarglok?" Mata said, "Yes, I did." So Mata says that why would you want to do this? Why would you want to disturb a good, happy, healthy family, right? So then Indradev said, it is a role of us gods and goddesses to test all these rishis before they can come to heaven. So I took a part in it and I went and checked on Mata Ahilya. I wanted to see how I was testing their powers of perception, if they could figure out that if I am the Gotham or I am not Gotham, right? If I'm disguised as Rishi Gotham. But as soon as I went to there and went inside the hut, Mata Ahilya was like, "Why are you, Indra, why are you here and why are you disguised as my husband?" And so basically, Ahilya passed the test, right? So as Indra was coming out, Rishi Gautam was coming back from his meditation. He did not ask any questions. He was very upset. He was very angry, and without thinking of anything negative, he started to curse Indra. Now, what is Indra's initial job is to control the weather, right? Rain and everything, right? If the curse was to come upon Indra, it would bring lot of big effect and big changes in the natural world. So what did Mata Ahilya did? Mata Ahilya took that curse upon me. So as how do you give the curse? Put the water in your hand and splash the water on the person you're supposed to give the curse, right? That's how the rishis used to do. So as Rishi Gautam was trying to curse the Indra, Mata Ahilya came in the between the two of them. And that's how Mata Ahilya got the curse. And right in front of them, both the men's eyes, Indra and Gautam's eyes, Rishi Gautam's eyes, Rishi Ahilya turned into a stone, into a big silent stone. And Indra saw that Rishi Gautam was in very much anger. And he's like, what you've done, you have done so wrong. I only came to test you both. And Mata Ahilya saw through my disguise and did not even, budge. She was like very confident. Why are you here, Indra? But you, on the other hand, were filled with anger and doubt. You did not trust your own wife. Then I went to and then Rishi Ahilya, Mata Ahilya got a choice from Indra. Why don't you come with me to Swarglok? You passed the test. Your husband failed, so let him stay here. You come with me. Mata Ahilya said no. Such a high soul, right? She didn't want to go to the heaven without her husband. She says, I will stay here until my husband is free of anger and doubt. And Mata Ahilya stayed as a stone. So then Sita Mata asked the Indradev the question, so is there a remedy for that? A remedy will soon come, my dear, says Indra. And then that's when Sita Mata awoke from that dream when she went to the Swarglok. Mata asked Kush, what do you learn from this story? Kush replied that anger is a cause of all much suffering and one must conquer anger. So these little hints and the story that we are recapping in this chapter, we get the lessons to learn from the child's perspective as well. So when you're telling these kids, your kids, the story, make sure you tell the part what lessons to learn, right? So your kids can also understand the story from a child's perspective. Mata has love. So what do you learn in this chapter? That Rishi Ahilya was a great lady and this was not truly her fault. She passed the test. You both are right, Mata says. Without trust, there is no love. And without love, there is no goodness, no dharma. Love is the basis of all. And Rishi Ahilya knew that if Indradev received the curse, the whole of the natural world would be disturbed. Without even thinking about herself, she intervened and she took this curse upon herself. That's how selfless love Mata Ahilya showed out, which is literally hidden from our today's Ramayana. And I felt very sad. This was one of the saddest part. There are few sad parts in the story, but this is one of the saddest part, that a woman had to take so much, like unnecessary guilt from the society, that she was not faithful for her husband when she thought not only about herself, but she never thought about herself. She thought always about her husband. She didn't go to the celestial world without him. On top of that, she took care of the natural world. And there's one more thing that I will like to tell you, my friends. Then Rishi Gautam, when he found out what mistake he did, he went into meditation. And Rishi Ahilya was there to protect herself in the jungle, in the midst of all the demons and demonesses, right? Who could easily grab her soul from that stone. And Mata just sat there and just as a boulder, doing nothing. She was like helpless. And she stayed in that time with the help of some devis and some goddesses who helped her, right? It was very hard for her, but she stayed there just so her husband can get over that anger and doubt. That was so sad. She did so much for her husband and she never gets the credit. On top of that, people label her as an unfaithful woman, right? So that's one of the very sad parts in this book. So and then Kush says, but Ma, tell me, so it was Pitaji, it was the father, oh, I mean Maharaj Ram. So at this point we get a hint that the kids know who their father is, but they don't want to tell their mother that they know the truth about their father. So it was Ramji, the King Maharaj Ram, who helped and took care of this situation. Yes, it was the Raja Ram, King Ram, our Raja Maharaj, who take care of that, and he freed. He not only freed Rishi Ahilya, but he also helped Rishi Gautam release his anger, and that way they both could go to Swarglok, heaven, all by themselves. So that night, Mata tells to Soma, I used to wonder why Rishi Ahilya had to suffer so much hard time the way she did. But I have come to realize that whatever she underwent, that great test out of love for her husband, so that she could overcome her anger, over that he could overcome his anger and doubt, and Swarglok she wanted to be with her, with him as well. To this day, the world deems her guilty, and no one knows her great sacrifice. As a result of the suffering he had caused, her sage Gautam underwent many difficult meditations, but this did not open his heart. It was only Ram's love that helped him to open his heart. And so Mata says to Soma, do you remember, Soma, the first time I met Ram? And first thing I said to Ram was, thank you for freeing Mata Ahilya from that stone in that boulder. And if Ram hadn't done it, she says, I don't know who else had done it. Ram did it like the perfect job of taking care of Ahilya and Rishi Gautam both at the same time. So this was the little story of Gautam and Ahilya. And Mata says that the flow of love has to be flown both ways. So in a relationship, in a husband and wife, the doubt should have no place. And love is a two-way street, right? It has to be flown. If Rishi Gautam had a faith in his wife, like Mata Ahilya had a faith in her husband, that's how Rishi Gautam should have faith in Mata Ahilya as well. So then Soma says, but Mata, why woman must always suffer? And you are also suffering. I see you suffering. You never had a good, stable life. So Mata says, Soma, I did not come here in the world to be a queen. When I took birth, I chose to the first known as the daughter of the Vasundhara, daughter of the earth. Vasundhara is earth, right? I chose her womb. I chose so I could come and born out of the earth. But the knowledge is, but the people are not realizing this, and this knowledge is fast fading. I will come again and again. So when I met with Deena ma'am, she still says that Mata is still here. We just know how to connect with her, right? So Mata also says in here when Deena ma'am is having her vision, Sita Mata says to Soma, I will come again and again into this world, doing my work quietly to bring that knowledge back to love for Mother Earth and all that lives on this Mother Earth. So that wraps up my chapter 20. I will start chapter 21. Give me 1 second, please. So chapter 21 is Sita's unseen work. So a lot of things that we will see in this chapter, and I will continue this chapter next week as well, that where it will be one of the sad parts that we will read how Mata took care of a lot of things around while she was staying in the hermitage. Soma says one day a very strange incident happened. That morning, everything was in bounty. They had enough food. Mata and the kids were happy. They went to their Gurukul for a hermitage to studies and all that. But Mata was somehow very disturbed. And then when I opened the door, there was a tigress at the door. And she felt like she was in pain. And this was very surprising to me that Mata didn't want to help that tigress. And I felt that tigress was in so much pain and she was looking for help from Mata. But Mata, and she from now and then she would even periodically cry, that tigress. But instead of Mata going to help, Mata was not going to help her for some reason. And Soma says, I don't understand the reason. So a day and a night passed. And the next morning, the tigress was still wounded. So Soma goes to Mata, Mata, I think the tigress is wounded. You may want to go help her. Mata says, yes, she's wounded, but not in body, but she's wounded in the heart. So Mata, when the third day happened, Mata sees the tigress is ready to apologize for some reason. So Mata went to her and Soma stood there in the doorway trying to see what they both are doing. So Mata kneels down and start talking to the tigress. And it felt like Mata was literally talking to her heart, the tigress heart. So what had happened was the tigress, somebody had killed her cub. And in retaliation, the tigress had killed somebody's child. So now the villagers were after her life and the life of other cubs. And so Mata was trying to tell that I will protect you and your cubs, but you have to promise me that you are going to take your cubs and move into deep into the jungle and not come closer to the village where the villagers are staying, right? So the lioness promises Mata that she will do so, and Mata says, okay, I promise you to your safety, okay? So then Tigress stands up and she sees the two of her cubs are hiding in the bush because they're scared because they've lost their something, right? So the Tigress moves into the jungle. And Mata comes inside and she tells Soma that I want you to cook a very large meal. and help me. And so Mata is putting some herbs for healing purposes, right? Because Mata is planning to go to that village where that child was killed, the woman who has lost the child because of the tigress retaliating for losing her cub. So Mata goes and opens up trunk and dresses up as a queen. And Soma again says, Mata, why are you dressing up as a queen? So Mata says it will be more effective if a queen talks to the villagers instead of a saint, a rishi, because Mata always dresses very simple when she's living in the hermitage. So I want them to listen to as an authoritative person who's talking to them. So then Mata also is wishing that Hanuman comes and helps her at this point. And as soon as the food is cooked, Hanuman's at the door, and without saying anything, Mata leaves with Hanuman. So finally, they reach that village where the incident happened, and Mata goes to the door, and the husband of that woman opens door, and he says, "Mata, I'm sorry, my wife is not healed completely. We have recently lost our son, and that was our only son, and my wife is very upset and angry and sad and depressed and not up to it to welcome you." Mata says, "I know. I'm here to give her the. I want to talk to her." So Mata and the husband also had mentioned that she has not eaten in so many days. So Mata gives her the food with all the healing properties, with all the herbs that Mata had cooked with the food, right? Just like our Patri sir, you know. I have never gotten a chance to eat the food that was cooked by Patri sir, but I have heard a lot of sessions and from a lot of other masters that his food would do tremendous changes in people's life, and his food had healing properties as well. So I always compare his food with Sita Mata's food. And anytime this healing food that Mata just talks about in this book, I just forget that energies that I am soaking in that food, and that Patri sir has cooked the food for us. So, and this book, I have read it so many times that I can feel the energies, and I feel like Patri sir was the one who brought me into all this. And so I feel his energies as well. So, I'm sorry. So Mata gave that woman her food that she had cooked for healing purposes, right? So Mata suggested that she stay there for night. And the villagers also come around when they see a Maharani coming, right? So they were very upset, and they said, "We will go kill the tigress tomorrow morning." And Mata is trying to calm them down, but they are not listening. They are again in retaliation, right? So Mata stays there overnight, and Mata helps that woman. And so in the morning, when she wakes up, she hears that people are ready to go kill the tigress. Mata gets up. Mata goes out and she requests all the villagers, "No, just stop this back and forth killing. The lion, the tigress kills the child. They uh, first the people kill the cub, and then the tigress in retaliation is kill the child, and now they're going to go kill the tigress. So this is a chain that needs to be stopped." So Mata says you have to stop this violence, because if you do more violence, it will follow more violence, right? So Mata was trying to stop this whole chain, but the people were not listening to her. Even her dressed up and her authoritative figure is not putting any effect to them. Then, excuse me, then they hear that woman, the mother who had lost the child, come out of the hut. And Mata says, "Did you meet your son last night? The dead son?" She says, "Yes, Mata, I met him." So Mata says, "Tell these people what your son wants you to do." So she says, "Please, for sake of my son, stop this violence. This is one request, and it will really help me to heal if you stop this violence." And so when the villagers hear that, they stop this violence and they drop the idea of going and killing the tigress. And then Mata tells that mother that, "Yes, I cannot compensate for your lost son, because every child that comes in a family has their own energies, has their own figure, and they're every different personality, right? So a loss is a loss. But I promise you, you will have one more son, and he will be a guide you in life in the right path, and that will help you heal you as well." And so Mata says goodbye and she leaves from there. And when they sat in the chariot with Hanumanji and Sita Mata, so Hanumanji asked Sita Mata, "You brought that child from the celestial world to heal the mother?" Mata says, "Yeah, I brought him because I saw him in the celestial world. He is." So when basically what I'm getting in this part, that when somebody loses their body and the family members are crying, so in this case, the mother was crying, The child had nowhere to go. He was very confused to go back to his body or go back to his further journey. So Mata guided that child that he needs to go to the further journey and not come back, because that's what his soul planning was. But he needs to go talk to his mother and says, "Mom, I'm fine. Mother, I'm fine. I'm fine." So that's what the child did. And so the child actually listened to the Sita Mata. And Sita Mata says to Hanumanji, that was a very pure soul, but this is what his soul planning was. And so he had to go. But wherever he goes, he has his very pure soul. So Mata says he's going to have a good future life. So Mata comes back, and before she leaves from there, before she left from there, she also mentioned to the villagers that please stop these killings, don't go hunting. And they told one thing to Mata. This is Mata, it's not us who killed the tigress. We didn't kill the cub. Sorry, not the tigress. We didn't kill the cub. It's people from Ayodhya. Mata was shocked. Why would Ayodhya people are going to come? And then they also said they are not hunting for food. They're just hunting for fun. That was even more sad for Mata, because they're killing animals for fun. That's not even like, if one animal is killing another animal, is for food. It's the nature, right? The smaller ones always get killed by the bigger one. But here, animals are killing for just for fun. So Mata really wanted to talk to Ramji about this. So I will stop this right here before I don't start the next episode in the story. So I'll stop it right here. And I thank you all for listening to my story from the Untold Story of Sita by Dina Man. I will open the floor for you guys if you guys want to comment or ask me anything or any kind of questions you guys have. Thank you, Masters, for listening to me.
Thank you very much. And yeah, if you have any questions, please raise your hand.
Thank you, Surupaji. Surupaji, I guess no one has the questions. I will see you all next Wednesday. Happy meditation and good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah, we'll start meditation.
Yes. Thank you, Jasleen ji.
Slowly place your hands on eyes for 5 seconds. Count of 5, open your eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly open your eyes. Thank you, masters. Thank you.